So Frieren season 2 of the anime just wrapped in late March 2026. And I must say, I'm feeling a little withdrawal, right? I'm a little sad that I have to wait for so long to get season 3. And I'm trying to figure out why is it that Frieren hits me this way? Why is it that I'm the one who grew up watching Gundam, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, of course, Bleach, all those, action packed show and jump anime kind of thing, right? And so I'm one who love that lot of fisticuffs, power scaling, all this thing. Love it, straight out. Little something, a little story, but a lot of action. And so I'm like, wait, what about Frieren that hits differently? Because I wasn't on Frieren early like some persons. I don't read mangas, so that's one thing. But season one, sorry, I wasn't on it early. But then I started hearing the buzz about Frieren. I saw some saying it's the most boring thing ever. Some saying it's the best thing ever. And so I said, let me try and see what's happening. And from episode 1, I was hooked. From episode 1, I was hooked. There's something about that show that really speaks to me. And I'm going to try my best to explain it in the best way I can. One thing about Frieren that really jumped out to me was the reflection on life and it's how finite life is. Now, Frieren can live for a long time, but most of her party mates are human beings, most. And even those who are dwarves and whatnot, they have a shot. Their lifespan doesn't compare to hers either way. But Himmel, the hero, he's a human being, and he died. And when Frieren is reflecting on life and how impactful he was for so many people in this universe, for such a short, basically a speck in terms of time compared to her existence, it's fascinating to see how she just actually really, really missed their adventures, how she really didn't seem as though she took it for granted at the time. And it's now that she's here now with this new cast of characters, with Stark and Fern and them, that she's kind of reflecting on exactly how impactful Himmel was in his short span of life. And so that is what really drew me to the anime. That is what really drew me to the whole entirety of it. It wasn't the action or anything like that. It was the fact that she is, I wouldn't say mortal, but she lives for a long time. And she just, things that seem just small for her, because she living so long, so she's like, oh, 50 years, ain't a big deal. 100 years, ain't a big deal. But for her traveling mates, that's a lifetime. And so that comparison, that juxtaposition, when she finally realizes it, it's like, oh, yeah, he did a lot in a short span of time. He enjoyed his life to the max. And here am I, have this long existence, and I'm just basically cruising through life, right? Time means nothing really to me. I will take 50, 100 years to study a spell, whatever, ain't a big deal. So that's one of the things that really drew me to the series. How they reflect on life and how she starts, really appreciating humans and their short stint on Earth. Then the pacing, it is not just like solo leveling. I mean, I'm a fan of solo leveling, but it has its place. It's like junk food. So if you want to sit down and just cruise through something and just enjoy it, this is the pacing I like with Frieren. Because you're able to sit back and see things develop over time. Nothing just force. So I love the pacing of the show. The action has its part. The development has its part. Character development. The shenanigans has its part. Like Dragon Balls, you might have 1 or 2 off episodes where Goku learning to drive and Piccolo learning to drive. It wasn't the norm, right? So I love that about the show. The pacing, I just enjoy how relaxing it is. It's not too pulse pounding,
even
nothing like that.
because
It's just very relaxing.
And you can just
into
gush
it
it
like
before I
that.
look.
Right? The entire first season was
And
over.
then we have the
Second
fights.
season was
We have
over.
the
Fights. I always enjoy the fights in Frieren. One reason is that they don't do this thing that Dragon Ball Z and Bleach and all those other showing animes do. Where you give him a big attack and then a lot of dust in the place, a lot of dust and smoke and whatnot. And now we have to wait until the dusk to see, oh, they're still alive. Oh no. With Frieren, when she give you her ultimate attack, when she do that thing up the sky and it come on with all its power, all its might, you made it dead. You have to question nothing. You know, that's it. And you see the black residue dissipating, and you know that fight is over. If the fight is not going to be drawn out, it's not going to be. Remember Namek? Everybody remember Namek and Frieza? That was like how many episodes for the one fight? You watch One Piece. Oh my goodness! Look at the fight with the dragon, the Kaido fight. My goodness, I was drawn out. And so this is what Frieren all about. They know the fight has its place, but they fight, get it out of the way, and then move on. Like from season 2, the biggest fight would have been in that abandoned village in the northern plateau, right? That fight took about 2 episodes or so, and it wasn't just bam, 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 like 5, 6, 7 episodes. No, the fight came. There was the ebbs and flow of the fight. When the enemy is injured, they're really injured. Then Stark almost get dead, but nobody. Okay, Stark survived that, but still, that's what I love about it. The fights that they are not too drawn out, and you don't have to guess. I say, I wonder if they could come back with a special attack. Remember when in Dragon Ball Z, when Gohan destroyed Cell, and then he had the whole dust there. I thought he destroyed Cell, and then he had the dust and everything, and then Cell just boom shoot Trunks, and Vegeta went crazy, and them kind of things that was happening, right? Not in Frieren, that's not part of their MO. I really love the characters in Frieren. I love the main cast. Frieren, Stark, Frieren. I love how they interact. And I love like that Frieren is a powerhouse, but she's seemingly so down to earth. She's not this like for example, in Solo Leveling, the main character, like he had issues, right? Like he had some issues. He had the mommy sick and whatnot, but still, he has something going on there. In a lot of manga, a lot of anime, the main character, powerful and everything, but they still have the weaknesses, they still have the emotional baggage, they still have all kind of thing going on. But Frieren is just cool. Frieren is just cool. She's powerful. She got your life learning all these spells. Time come, she attack, she use them. Remember, her thing is that I don't have to learn any high level spells, right? I just master these defense and offense, these basic ones. She ain't about that kind of life, right? She's not about that kind of life. She's simple, Frieren the same way. No lot of huff and puffing, that kind of thing. They're about the simple life. And so I enjoy that about their characters. Stark and Frieren, the interaction, very awkward, very, teenager kind of flex. Early love, they don't know what, we together, but should we be together, that kind of thing. So I like how they interact. It's not too, they don't dwell too heavily on their budding relationship, right? Some anime got is the kind of, I don't know what to call it though, the kind of pervert kind of thing. Don't like that in anime, but it exists. You get a little joke. I love Roshi and how Roshi to go on, but sometimes when you get older, you don't really want all that in anime. And you can't find none of that in Frieren. None of that pervy stuff, you can't find in Frieren. And I really appreciate it. They treat each other like actual human beings. Well, not human beings, but in our setting, we'll say like human beings, but in that world, like they are actual characters, that persons, right? They don't treat them like a bag of meat or anything like that. So I love the interaction between the characters, among themselves, among the world, and everything. And what I love about Frieren is that ain't a big charity story. You want help? You got to pay me with the whatever grimoire, whatever spell, right? She explained why, but I like that about it. Frieren is not very pushy. She's very subtle, down to earth. Frieren, a quiet cannon. Love that about her. Stark, he's not no weak link. And so there's no damsel in distress or anybody always in distress who want rescuing in this show. Everybody could hold their own. And I love that about this show. Look at the big fight from season 2. Frieren gone one way with Frieren. Stark gone one with the other fella, forgot his name. and they managed to fight the demons separately, and they did their thing, right? There's no real weak link. Stark has his role as the front line fighter, the adventurer, the axe wielding person, the warrior. He has his role, and they complement each other very well. All these different positions complement each other very well. And so, again, I appreciate how they have the characters doing. And there's so much that can be found in everyday life going through this world. Everyday life becomes something that you are interested in. It's very similar to what I describe Seinfeld as Curb Enthusiasm, where they take everyday situations and make them a thing. You could sit down for an episode and just see Fern and Stark going on a date, and that has you encompassing the whole thing, right? You're into it without even realizing that, oh, that's very interesting. Other episodes of other anime fillers are boring for sometimes. Sometimes fillers are like, fillers are watch over it. Some, not all. But for these ones, you don't even know what's a filler, what's not, because I didn't read manga, but yeah. And then the last thing I love about the characters is that, some characters, the lead character is very stupid, right? They act foolish, they act a fool, except when time come to fight, that kind of thing. Luffy come to mind, Goku come to mind, that kind of thing. There's no foolishness like this here. They respect everybody's level of intelligence. There's no tomfoolery, there's no whacking nothing. They respect everybody's level of intelligence in this show. And that's what I love about it. So it's a very mature approach to anime, in my opinion. That's why some persons might not like it. I think it's boring. But when you wrap your mind around what they're really trying to show you, you get to appreciate it. And so I can't wait for season 3 to come. I was actually tempted. This is how bad I want to watch the rest of this story. I was tempted to buy the manga. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy the manga and read it. But then I'm like, man, I miss the animation though. And so I held off. But I think I might buy the manga and read it. I really want to see how this story goes. That's how engrossed I am in the world of Frieren. And so that was my best anime for the spring season. I mean, I enjoyed JJK because that was my action side of things. I enjoyed JJK. I enjoyed this new one. How we call it? Jack of all trades, party of whatever it is. That show had some Frieren vibe to it. Subtle, powerful character, but still into push it. Like, I like the slowness of that anime also. Right? I started watching Sentenced to be a Hero, but I fell off because I don't like a series where the villains are not very compelling. They get more fodder, more cannon fodder as enemies. These fairies rushing to you and a whole... that wasn't thing. But of course, I enjoyed also Hell's Paradise. That was really fire too. I gave Apothecary Diaries a shot. I binge watched season 1. I got into season 2, but by then, that's why I don't like to binge watch it. By then, I was already tired of the things. So I give it a pause, and yeah, I was watching Makoto Tensei. I started watching season 1. I got real far, but something about the anime I'm not liking. I don't know if it's the perverted nature of it, the weird sex driven. That just did not jive with me after a while. And I think there was an episode where I bounce off where the main character was, I guess, being very arrogant, talking about what he had plans, and some characters were in the woods fighting, and one of them got killed because of the arrogance of the main character. So I kind of jump off like why? So, but for so far, spring anime season, I enjoyed it fairly well. I gave Fire Force the next shot, still on season 1, still trying to get up to season 3, but something about Fire Force just ain't really sticking with me. But I'm going to keep watching 1 episode per 2 weeks or whatever, I don't know, until I finish, but I'm going to keep at it. So, let me know what you guys think about Frieren. If you're going to be anime of the year for next year, let's talk about it. Thanks for watching.